The twin suns of Terra Nova shined brightly over green fields and silver towers. Children laughed and ran through the city parks. Farmers worked in large domes, growing food for 10 nearby human colonies. Terra Nova was a peaceful world. It had no armies, no weapons. It was called the Garden of Humanity. Captain Mara Chen was on a patrol ship near the planet. She was watching the colony from space. Her mission was simple: check traffic, scan for asteroids, and send reports. She had done this job for 5 years. Nothing dangerous ever happened. Here. Mara sipped her coffee and smiled. Looks calm, she said to her co-pilot, Lieutenant Rico. Just another quiet day. But then, something changed. An alert appeared on her screen. It showed a shadow above the planet, large and moving fast. Unknown ship detected, the system said. Mara frowned. That's strange. No flight plans today. More shadows appeared. 10, then 50, then hundreds. Rico, are you seeing this? Mara asked, standing up. Yes, Captain, he said. These ships, they're not broadcasting any signals. No ID, no communication. The screen filled with dark shapes, huge alien ships in black metal, shaped like blades. They flew in perfect silence. Mara tried to contact Terra Nova. Colony Command, this is Patrol Ship Ironclad. Do you see the incoming ships? No answer. She tried again. Still silence. Then, without warning, the sky above Terra Nova turned red. The alien ships opened fire. Massive beams of energy cut through the planet's shields. Cities exploded. Forests burned. Oceans boiled. Everything was destroyed in seconds. Mara and Rico watched in shock as the peaceful world died before their eyes. No. No. This can't be real, Rico whispered. Mara's hands shook. They didn't even speak. No message. No reason. On the planet, millions screamed, but their voices were lost in fire. One final explosion rocked the colony's center. The communication tower fell. Terra Nova went dark. The patrol ship shook as a wave of energy hit it. Systems blinked. The power flickered. For a moment, everything stopped. Then silence. Only the stars remained. Mara stood frozen. She had seen war before. She had seen death. But this was something else. This was cold. Empty. No warning. No mercy. She turned to Rico. Get us out of here now. We need to tell Earth. He nodded, hands shaking, and jumped the ship into hyperlight. Back on Earth, inside the United Nations High Command, the room was silent. Admirals, generals, and leaders from every colony watched the footage Mara had sent. They saw the ships, they saw the destruction. They saw Terra Nova fall. One man, Admiral Rourke, stood and spoke. We lost a colony of 10 million souls, he said. No contact, no survivors, no enemy name. This was not an accident. This was not a war. This was a message. The room stayed quiet. They want us to be afraid, Rourke said. They want us to bow down, but they made one mistake. Everyone looked up. They touched our people. Murmurs filled the room. Rage, grief, fire. Captain Mara, now back on Earth, stood before the council. They destroyed a peaceful world, she said. A world that fed other colonies, that raised children, that built life. She paused. Now they will see what we are made of. Far away, in the dark corner of the galaxy, the alien ships floated in silence. They had no names, no symbols, no emotion. One of them sent a short signal through the void. Phase 1, complete. They turned and disappeared into the stars, leaving only ashes behind. But they had forgotten one thing. Humans don't forget, and they never forgive. After the fall of Terra Nova, the universe felt colder. Earth tried to contact the other colonies. Messages were sent. Signals bounced across space, but no one replied. From the outer edges of Mars to the deep colonies on Titan's moons, the communication lines went quiet, one by one. It was like a hand had reached across the stars and closed every mouth. Inside, Earth's Defense Command, a young analyst named Eric Valen, sat in front of glowing monitors. He had red eyes, shaky hands, and a growing fear in his chest. "Sir," Eric whispered to his supervisor, "they're not just attacking us. They're erasing us." The man looked confused. "What do you mean?" Eric stood and pointed at a screen. "Every signal from the human colony's gone, but look at this, and it's not just silence, it's blocked. Something is actively jamming every single one, not natural. This is precision work." He tapped a flashing dot on the edge of the screen. This is different." The dot blinked from an unknown sector in deep space. It wasn't human. It wasn't part of Earth's network. But it was trying to talk. Eric enhanced the signal. At first it was just static, but then a voice, distorted and weak, came through. "Help! They're coming. Do not trust the stars." The voice was not human. At the same time, Captain Mara Chen stood in front of the UN High Command. Her face was tired, but her eyes were sharp. "They didn't ask for peace, they didn't demand surrender," she said. "They just destroyed us." One general spoke. "Maybe this was a test. Maybe they're waiting for our answer." Mara shook her head. "No, Terra Nova wasn't a warning. It was the beginning." The room went quiet again. Then a voice came through on the comms. "Analyst. Eric Valen requesting immediate audience. He found something." Later that night, Mara, Eric, and a small team were launched aboard the stealth frigate Nightwind. Their mission? Follow the strange signal. It took them beyond human borders, past the stars that Earth called home, into cold, dead space. Days passed. The crew grew tense. Every system was checked again and again. The signal grew louder. Finally, they arrived. Before them was a ruined world. Not human, not even close. It was the remains of a once great alien city, floating in pieces, broken towers, crushed ships. Silence. They landed on a cracked platform made of black stone. As they explored, they saw images carved into the walls. Pictures of war. Beams falling from the sky. Worlds crumbling. Mara held up her flashlight and saw something strange. On a large wall, written in a dozen languages, some human, some unknown, was the same message. Do not trust the stars. They watch. They erase. They consume. Suddenly, the ground shook. The team raised their weapons. A broken drone crawled out of the rubble, barely alive. It projected one last video before dying. It showed another alien species, peaceful-looking, standing in front of a giant black ship. They held their hands up in peace. A second later, the ship fired, and they were gone. Mara whispered, "They did this to them too." Eric looked around and said, "They've done it before, they'll do it again." Mara stared at the stars above. For the first time, they looked different. Cold, full of danger. "This wasn't war," she said. "It was cleansing." Back on Earth, Admiral Rourke received Mara's report. His face hardened as he said just one word: "Prepare everything." Earth was no longer silent. The news of Terra Nova's destruction and the ruined alien city spread like fire. For the first time in centuries, every human faction, military, scientific, political, even outlaw colonies, answered one call: the Council of Revenge. The meeting was held in Earth's orbital fortress, Citadel Prime, floating above the planet like a giant iron moon. Inside, the most powerful humans gathered in one room: admirals, commanders, presidents, and even rebel leaders. Some had been enemies before, some had never met. But now they were united by rage. Admiral Rourke stood at the center. His voice was cold, sharp like a blade. "They killed 10 million people, no warning, no reason. They've done this to other species before. Now they're coming for all of us." He looked around the room. "If we wait, we die. If we stay quiet, they erase us." A deep silence filled the chamber, then Rourke spoke again. "We respond with everything." In the dark corners of the Citadel, the real plans were made. Project Hammerfall was born. It would not be a small war. It would be the largest space strike in human history. Over 700,000 ships would be prepared: military warships, stealth cruisers, drone fleets, defense satellites, and even converted mining rigs. Factories on Mars and Titan began producing weapons non-stop. Every space dock was flooded with orders. Even AI-run worlds stopped research and shifted to war production. Humanity was turning itself into a machine of vengeance. But there was one problem. "We still don't know who we're fighting," said Captain Mara Chen during a briefing. Eric Phelan agreed. "They have no name, no symbols, no messages, just destruction." He showed new data from the ruins. "I call them the cleaners. They leave nothing behind. No culture, no history, just silence." Mara nodded slowly. "Then we will become their first failure." But the enemy was not sleeping. As humanity prepared, strange things began happening. Entire space probes disappeared. Human cargo ships vanished mid-journey, leaving no trace. Satellite cameras picked up brief flashes, black shapes watching, then gone. And inside Earth's deep systems, one AI reported something terrifying. Unknown signals inside core code. Not human. Not ours. Something is watching us. From the inside. Eric stayed awake for 3 days, trying to trace the signals. Finally, he found something. "They're inside our systems," he told Mara. "They've been studying us. They know our strengths, our weaknesses." He paused, then added, "But I found something else. A gap in their network. A blind spot. One place they can't see." "What is it?" Mara asked. "A dark system on the edge of the galaxy," he said. "No stars, no planets, just silence." Mara narrowed her eyes. "Then that's where we go." The council voted. The plan was approved. A fleet would be sent into the blind zone, a small strike force. They would hit first, hard and fast, and bring back proof that humanity could fight back. Mara volunteered to lead. "You saw them destroy a world," Admiral Rourke said. "Now show them what a human warship can do." As the night wind prepared to launch, Mara looked out at the stars. Once they had been beautiful. Now they looked like a battlefield. "We didn't want this war," she whispered, "but we will finish it." Far away, deep in the void, inside the cleaners' black ships, a signal lit up. Phase 2. Engage observation protocol. But something was wrong. For the first time in thousands of years, the cleaners sensed something different. Humanity was not afraid. Humanity was angry. The stars around the ship Nightwind were gone. This was the dead zone, a patch of space with no light, no planets, no signals. It was cold, silent, and terrifying. Captain Mara Chen sat in the command chair, her eyes locked on the forward screen. Behind her, Eric Phelan monitored the systems, while a small squad of elite soldiers checked their weapons. No one spoke much. They all knew the truth. This might be a one-way mission. "Anything on scanners?" Mara asked. Eric shook his head. "Still nothing. It's like this place doesn't even exist." "Keep looking," she said. "They're hiding here. I can feel it." After hours of drifting, the silence broke. A faint pulse, a signal, flashed across the screen. Mara jumped. "Up. That's it. Track it." Eric's fingers flew over the controls. "It's coming from a massive object, not a planet. More like a..." He stopped. Mara turned. "Like a what?" "It's a ship. No, a fortress. Big enough to block out a sun." The screen showed it. A black, silent mass floating in the dark. No lights, no movement. But it felt alive. Mara's voice was firm. "Prep all weapons. We hit it fast. No warnings, no questions." The night wind moved in. Just as they entered attack range, something strange happened. A single light blinked on the fortress, then another, and another. Thousands of tiny red dots appeared across its surface, eyes waking up, and then the fortress spoke, not in sound, in the crew's minds. A deep, cold voice echoed inside Mara's head. "You should have stayed silent." Everyone froze. Some screamed. A soldier dropped his rifle, clutching his ears. Mara gritted her teeth. Fire now! The night wind launched a full barrage, missiles, rail cannons, plasma bursts, all targeted at the fortress's core. The impact was massive. For a second, the entire fortress shook. Then, a crack appeared. Eric's screen lit up. You hit something, their armor's breaking. Mara didn't stop. Again! Another wave of weapons hit the same spot. Suddenly, a hole opened, revealing a giant room inside the fortress, full of strange machines and glowing energy tubes. Eric's eyes widened. That's it, their control center. But then, something crawled out. Not a ship, not a drone. It was a cleaner. 7 meters tall, jet black, no face, long limbs. It floated, forward, silent, watching. More followed. Dozens, hundreds. They're coming. One soldier whispered. Mara gave the order. Land inside. We finish this from within. The ship dove into the hole. The inside of the fortress was massive, dark, with twisting halls and pulsing walls, like being inside a living machine. The team disembarked. Guns ready. Lights on. No. One talked. The cleaners moved silently in the distance, just watching. Finally, the team reached the core, a huge sphere spinning with light and strange symbols. Eric moved forward fast. This is it. If I plant the virus here, it'll shut the whole system down. It'll reveal everything. Mara covered him. Do it fast. As he worked, the cleaners began to close in, slow at first, then faster. Eric, she shouted. Almost. Done, he yelled. Just a few more seconds. A cleaner leapt at them. Mara fired. Her plasma shots hit the creature, burning through it, but more kept coming. The soldiers formed a line, holding them back. Finally, Eric shouted, Done! Get us out! The team ran back through the halls, dodging attacks, covering each other. They reached the ship. Engines roared. The night wind launched out of the fortress just as a massive explosion rocked the core. The entire black structure started to collapse inward. Eric looked back at the screen. We didn't destroy it, but we cracked it open. We saw inside. Back on Earth, the data Eric pulled shocked everyone. The cleaners were not a race, they were a weapon, built long ago by an ancient species now extinct, a machine designed to clean the galaxy of emotion, culture, and rebellion. But now they were out of control, killing everything, including their creators. Admiral Rourke stood before the council. They're not gods. They're not invincible. We hit them, we hurt them. He raised his voice. Now, we finished them. Earth was ready. The vast human fleet, more than 700,000 ships, gathered near the edge of the solar system. Fighters, cruisers, carriers, and drones, all shining with Earth's colors. Captain Mara Chen stood on the flagship Iron Resolve, looking out at the endless stars. This is it, she said quietly. We fight or we die. The Admiral's voice came over the comms. All units, prepare to engage. This is our moment. Suddenly, the sky exploded with light. The cleaners arrived. Their warships were massive, black like the fortress Mara's. Team attacked. They moved with deadly precision, weapons glowing red. The battle began. Missiles flew. Lasers cut through space. Ships exploded in brilliant fireballs. Mara's ship dodged blasts and returned fire. Enemy fighters incoming, shouted the tactical officer. Squadrons of sleek cleaner drones swarmed like deadly hornets. Mara called out, Launch fighters! Protect the fleet! Human fighters raced forward, weaving through fire, shooting down drones one by one. But the cleaners had an advantage. Their ships repaired themselves instantly. Their weapons adapted. Their drones were endless. Every time humans destroyed one ship, 2 more took its place. The fleet started to fall back. Suddenly, Mara's ship was hit. Alarms blared. Power flickered. Damage report, she shouted. Engines offline. Shields failing, the engineer said. We can't hold much longer. Mara's heart pounded. Rally the fleet, we will not retreat. Far from the main battle, a small team led by Eric Valen raced to the enemy fortress's remains. They carried a virus designed to destroy the cleaners' control system. The virus was the last hope. Back in the fight, Mara saw a new enemy ship appear. It was bigger than all others, with glowing red eyes scanning the battlefield. It was the Cleaner Overlord, the flagship of destruction. It fired a massive beam. The beam cut through human ships like paper. Mara gritted her teeth. "We have to stop that ship." She ordered the fleet to focus all fire on the Overlord. Explosions lit up space as the two forces clashed. Eric's team reached the fortress core. They launched the virus. Lights blinked. Machines shut down. Back in space, the cleaner ships began to falter. Their weapons lost power. Their repairs slowed. The tide was turning. Admiral Rourke's voice came over the comms. "Humanity will survive. Humanity will fight. Today we show the universe that we are not to be erased." The battle was far from over. But now hope burned bright. The battle raged on. Human ships fought bravely, but the cleaners still held strong. Mara's ship, Iron Resolve, was damaged but still fighting. Suddenly a message came through. Eric's team had done it. The virus was working. One by one, cleaner ships lost power. Their weapons died. Their shields fell. The unstoppable army slowed. Mara smiled. "We're winning." But the cleaners had one last surprise. The Overlord ship, the biggest cleaner warship, started to glow. A giant weapon powered up. It was a death beam, more powerful than anything humanity had seen. Mara shouted, "All ships, prepare for impact." The beam fired. It tore through space toward Earth's fleet. Ships exploded everywhere. The sky was filled with fire and smoke. But just as the beam was about to hit, something incredible happened. Eric's virus spread through the cleaner system, like wildfire. The Overlord shuddered, its weapon overloaded. The beam stopped. With the Overlord weakened, Mara ordered the final attack. The human fleet fired everything they had. Missiles, lasers, plasma, filling the sky with light. The Overlord exploded in a giant fireball. The cleaners retreated. Their warships vanished into the darkness. The stars grew quiet again. Earth celebrated. They had survived, they had fought, and they had won. But Mara knew this was only the beginning. The cleaners were still out there, somewhere, waiting, watching. The war was over, but the cost was great. Millions of humans were lost. Cities on Earth were damaged. The stars were still dark and quiet. Captain Mara Chen stood on the bridge of the repaired Iron Resolve. She looked out at the calm stars. "This is our new beginning," she said softly. Admiral Rourke spoke in a global broadcast. "We survived the cleaners' attack. We proved humanity's strength and courage." He paused. "But the cleaners are not gone forever. We must stay ready. Watch the stars." Eric Valen studied the data from the virus. "We destroyed their control," he said. "But their ships are still out there without orders." Mara nodded. "So they are dangerous and lost. We need to find them before they cause more harm," Eric added. A new fleet was built, not for war but for search and rescue. Ships would explore the darkest corners of space, find lost colonies, help survivors. Mara was chosen to lead the fleet. She smiled, proud but serious. "We will protect humanity," she said. "We will find hope in the darkness." As Earth's sun rose over the horizon, Mara's ship launched into the stars, a new dawn for humanity, a new fight for survival, but also a new chance to shine. And somewhere, deep in space, a faint signal blinked. A single star flickered. The cleaners had not disappeared. They were watching, waiting.